Hi, everyone. I hope everybody can listen. Hello. Can everyone listen to me? Great. I am so sorry. I thought that I was not audible. So I will just share my screen in order to. So, hi, everybody. This is Seema Singh. And just to introduce myself, to the larger audience, I would. Um, So I come with 28 years of experience, and in my last stint, I was a chief human resources officer in Radical Minds Technologies, and this was, when I came back from Bombay, and I was working as a president for a public listed entity which is called 1.1 Solutions, and this was about 5,000 people strong. Before to that, I worked with companies like Tarun Teliani. I worked with Tuluna. I worked with companies like EXL. So I have been interviewing a lot of people, and right from all the positions to all the walks of life. So maybe this information that we share today would be helpful to you, and we will be able to learn together mutually. So, Divya, I hope we can start. Okay. So the contents of of this workshop would be what all would you want to, consider before you even start writing a resume. Okay. Various types of resumes that are available, and what is it that you should be using. Then, what will that, what would be an impactful content for writing a compelling resume? Like, what would it need? What would it entail? What will be the sections? Then, and once we are done doing that, what are the little steps of hygiene that you need to follow so that your resume looks completely impeccable? And also, I will share, that's a bonus. We will also share a cover letter format which accompanies a resume usually, and what all should be the contents of a cover letter format. So, so I think we should start with, first of all, so, yeah, so like I said, having a compelling resume is often the first step, when you're applying for any kind of job. And an interviewer is likely to use your resume to ask you questions on your professional life. So, any additional information that you include is going to help you, serve well and understand you as a well-rounded person to the interviewer and to the prospective employer. So, how should you go about writing that killer resume? Is the talk of today's discussion. So, first of all, before we even get into something like that, you need to do your research. The basic minimum requirement of this writing a resume is, at the minimum, review the company's website. Google its key players. For example, what are the solutions that the company sells, and what are the skills required for these solutions. What does the glass door talks about it, and what is the kind of, the working window, from what to what timings, and what are they known as employers, how are they recommended in the market, and then also about their revenue, maybe, but most importantly, that what are the skills required, for the solutions that they're selling, so that you are able to align your skills, um, along with, when you write your resume. So the second one would be, rush to the job description. Okay, find out those, skill segment where there will be some skills specified. Now, you'll have to look for some three critical in the job description. You'll have to find out what are those three critical, most important skills, that you might want to take up. Now, these can be soft skills like leadership, like time management, like, customer service, interpersonal skills. ये है, it's only a softer aspect of the skills, but more technical would be like, the foreign language, or maybe computer proficiency, or maybe some operating of the machines, in case there is something which is more technical to be handled. So these are the technical side of the skills. So rush to those and plan to, write those skills, include those skills in your resume and as is. So, how funny may it sound, but you'll have to copy the same verbiage written in the job description and include it in your resume. So, and there are reasons, good reasons for it. I know it sounds odd, but there are good reasons to it. So, first of the reasons is, if there is an, ATS involved, which is application tracking system involved, the chances of your resume getting selected gets higher, because it is fed with that kind of a vocabulary. And, secondly, in case of an HR team, right, if there's an HR team involved, so they are given two things, they are all interns, at the first basic level, at the ground level. So they will be only told to concentrate on those keywords, right? And they don't have to go much in detail. Now, if the job description says that you'll, you enthusiastic communicator, for example, please write enthusiastic communicator in your CV, and not, good communication skills, because that is what is the key is, and I'm not saying that's a short thing, but this is one step ahead. I mean, you can probably not get sieved through if you have not got the same kind of verbiage. And the second is that avoid your resumes to be trashed. Now, why am I saying this? The first reviewer is actually the person who's got a simple basic job. That is, that, they get about tons of applications, correct? They have so many applications to be sieved through. Now, their job is to basically, they are trying to weed out, the ineligible resumes, because they know not everybody will get through, right? So not everybody will be eligible, or not everybody will be qualifying to get to the next round. So they are actually trying to do a simple job. The next reviewer, the person after this recruiter, the next reviewer will only be, taking care of the resumes who are more apt, which are more apt, and which are actually have the potential to go to the next round. So that is important, that, we try and keep ourselves to avoid ourselves to be sieved through. Now, there is an ATF system. We've spoken about it. Now, what is this ATS system? So ATS is application tracking system. We all know that, but this is actually a hiring software that many employers use to make the first round of applications move a lot faster. Okay, so they would be trying to do this. So it takes some information. For example, what does the job description entail? अब उसको it needs to be fed with this information. For example, the qualifications required for the role, or the work of years of experience applied for this role, or skills for this role. So now the system converts these keywords and scans each resumes that comes in that comes for this job application, and only passes the resumes which have the maximum percentage of match with the JD. So that is what is an ATS. And if you have some questions, guys, you can always write on the chat box. We will discuss this once we're through with the session, so that we don't have to do to and fro on this. So and so I'm not sure if I'm audible. Okay. So and even if if the employer does not use the ATS, there is an HR person doing this, right? So the function of both of them is exact same, which is the ATS, and the person in the HR is actually doing to do a quality control, which really means that they are going to let's, for the ease of it, let's call them the eliminating squad. So they are trying to so 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 it's just the as an applicant, your biggest job is to actually evade this crucial step and write your skills as descriptively as possible, so that it doesn't gets into the trash. So that is important before you start to write your resume even. Let's discuss this in detail, that what does it actually mean and what are the types of resumes that we have. So here on, coming to the next slide. So what are the types of resumes that we have? So the type of resumes that we have is chronological, then it is functional, and then it is targeted. These are the three types of resumes. Actually speaking, the most common ones are actually chronological and functional, but I'll tell you why I have written targeted as well. So the first one is a chronological resume, which is one of the most common, resume formats, and there's a good reason for it. So all the employers, tend to prefer this because of two reasons. One is it is very easy to scan, and two, it is straightforward. It's like on the face, it's not something, there's nothing that people wouldn't understand. It's very easy to scan also. So it's actually the reverse chronology that we're talking about. So because it starts from the current work that we have, the latest work that we have, and then goes back in history. For example, in this also you can see that this is the current work history that the current work, the current employment that he's in, and he is dating it back to the rest of his experiences. Now, a chronological resume lists your work history in order of date, with the most recent position on the top. So it includes a resume objective, which is right here. It includes a resume objective or a career summary before the list of experiences, right? So such format actually gives a lot of insight on the progression of the careers, actually clearly. Now, the second one is functional resume. Now the second one is functional resume, and it just focuses on the skills and experiences rather than the chronological work history. This is used by the job seekers who have had gaps in their work history, or who have had sort of changed their careers in between. So that is where it is used. But just a small warning that some application tracking system reject the resumes without a chronological work history. So out of these two, uh, then the third one that we were talking about is the targeted resume. Now, in this targeted resume is actually, to my mind, the best of all. So, it actually focuses on the specific job opening. So, the targeted resume is written to highlight the skills and experiences relevant to a particular position. So, when sending targeted resumes, the resume will have to be reworked and rewritten every time you apply for a position. Okay. Now, also, there is a cover letter which is accompanied by this targeted resume, and this will when you apply for a job, try to see if there are some job postings where you may have. So, for example, try to see some words in the job posting which you may not have included in your resume. Try to add this in your resume, because that really will expedite and enhance the chances of your resume getting selected. Okay. And so doing such research would help you craft a resume which is actually expected by the recruiter. So if this means making your resumes customizable to each job you apply, do it, as this would increase the chances of getting the interview call at least. So, of all of these three, I will today talk about targeted chronological resumes. Okay. So, and how should we? So, why am I saying targeted chronological resume? So, I'm saying I will take the best of the points from both of these resumes and amalgamate into a resume which will look better for us to understand, and better for which increases our chances of getting selected. So selected for the recruiter for the next round. So and I will explain that how to write a compelling resume, and I will also tell that how do we arrange sections on resume. So there are certain sections which will be required. How do we arrange those sections? So uh, topmost section, I'll go back to the targeted one so that you are able to relate to it. Now, the topmost section should have your contact information. Okay. So this is your name and your phone number, your address. Actually, you may want to just write your place of residence and your city, because that helps the recruiter to understand your commute to work, right? And you may also want to write your contact details for sure, because the person is going to get in touch with you through that. And emails and all are the later part of it, but I think the contact number is a must there, right? And then you would have to add your LinkedIn, your any social professional social media URLs, right? Which will be important for the person to actually go there and find out in one go. If there's something which is not there in your resume, they would find out there. So that is really important. And adding a photo on the resume, because it was quite a fad, people used to add a lot of photographs on the resume, is not a very good idea, because you're not selected for how you look, you're selected for what you do, right? So that is the point. And then coming back to yeah, so we've done this, what details should be added on the topmost section. And then it is create a strong teaser or a summary. Now coming back to this again, so here the upper section of the resume is definitely the most valuable part of your resume, and you would want to write something which resonates with you and you would want to be showcased, right? So for that, so that is why it's called a teaser, because it should be so inviting to not to let the recruiter to miss it, right? So here, of course, it cannot be more than 2 3 lines. You don't have to go overboard. and you have to describe your top accomplishments that qualify you for this role, and specifically explain how these experiences would help meet the company their own goals, right? So you have to actually, so when I said targeted and amalgamation of targeted and your chronological resume was this, you will actually have to rework this summary every time you apply for a specific job and a position in there. So I will give you some examples that I just wrote for you. So that is summary examples. For example, a communicative financial analyst specializing in informative and persuasive financial presentations. Now this will be for a financial analyst summary, right? So cost accounting and team management. Now he's also written master's degree in finance and two related certifications from Corporate Finance Institute. So he's also written that what all are the he what all kind of qualifications does he has in the technical qualifications, which is SQL and Equitrack. Now, so to if you had to answer that why this resume summary is effective, because it focuses on the candidate's strong points that are relevant to the job, their related education and certifications, and the knowledge is most important is professional software, which he wrote SQL, right? Now the second summary sample which I would want to read out to you is about a receptionist. So she's written detailed oriental receptionist with 4+ years of experience in customer service, efficient in performing the administrative and front desk task of large scale offices, fluent in English, Spanish, Hindi, and French, proficient in MS Office suite. So now, when she writes that, why is this, summary effective? Because the candidate has actually written about, can someone, I don't know if you guys are hearing me or not. Can someone just write on the chat if, I also get to know that if people are understanding this? Okay, I don't think so. Right, so we'll go back to this. And here it is. So because it shows off the candidate's key skills. Now, if you have to be a receptionist and in the customer service, so it is important that at the front office, maybe you are speaking with different people with different languages. Maybe she's on the travel desk, or maybe she's at the a desk which is tourism, and people have to have different proficiencies in languages. So she knows 4 languages, and that's a hit for a recruiter. Similarly, efficient in performing administrative front desk works. So, which is that she's written those skills which are important for her to perform the task. Then you got to know the MS Office if you are on a front desk. So I think this is important. The third one, again, it's about a customer service representative, and I think this is a hit because he's written how many. Maybe it is written in the job description that the experience should be 5 years and plus. So he's added that. He's also said that his basic job would be as a customer service representative in a call center, would be taking calls. So he said that I handled up to 100 calls, and he's written that, and what was his retention rate also. So I think again this is a very compelling summary. Then again they have written about something to do with accomplished professional. So here it is about a content writing professional, right? So here he's writing about that what all how many years of experience does he has in writing a content, and he what high where has he written his content for. So he's written some important names like Forbes, Business Insider, and all of that. And he's also written that what is his future looking at, what does he want to say about the company where he's working. He says that I want to generate more leads through the content. So, and I'm also looking at increasing their online presence. So I think this is a very, very good resume samples, summary samples. So if all of you can, sort of relate to it and curate your resume like that, nothing like it, because this will add, and this is a very, very valuable part of your resume. And I think every recruiter gives a lot of thought while selecting resumes when he's looking at a career objective or a summary. Now, we come to the next and the most, again, very important part, which is list your professional experiences. Now, when you're listing your, start with your, so I'll go back to the resume again so that you're able to see it. So now here what he's done is you have to start, like I said, it is a reverse chronological order. You start with your current employment. So start with your most recent job, include your company's name, the place of your location of your company, then your business title, and your dates, which is from and to. If it is present, if you're currently working, then it will be present. Or if you've left the job, and you might want to write from and to, which is the date. And then you might want to just underneath that include 4 5 points, bullet points, talking about your achievements. Okay, and this has to be 4 5 points max for the first ones, which is your current working work, and then you can go back for the rest of them. For you can just write about 3 or 4, three max for each one of your earlier work experiences. Ab it's very important to start with some strong action verbs, which is like strategize, which is like initiated, developed. These bullet points should start with that, okay? Which is like, led, or which is like analyzed, or, delivered. All of this, or, assisted clients. This is something, these are very powerful, actionable words. But then, but just use it once in one bullet. Okay, don't just keep repeating the same action word again and again. Also, you might want to just write the same kind of about the bullets also. So since it's a formatting thing, so make sure that the bullet points are the same. You either use circles, simple circles, or simple squares, no fancy bullets here. Okay, and make sure the same bullet points are uh, you know on the same kind of bullet points are there, repeated throughout the resume, and not squares in one section and the other section has circles. That doesn't look good. And then you might want to, now when I spoke about these strong action words, make sure that you use numbers to support these verbs. So for an example, initiated a business development program, for you may write the LOB's name, and raised sales by 20% in quarter 2. Now what are you doing? You're actually telling that I was able to contribute to the company's revenue by initiating such a program. You have to explain your impact in each bullet point. For example, if you have initiated a program, it has to translate into your contribution towards the organization. For example, launched a program. Let's call it Aspire. Okay, so launched a program called Aspire, and we were able to win back 56% of the customers. Now, numbers and data bring your work experience to life and help the hiring managers envision the potential impact you could have in their organization. So this is something like a, now what has he done if he's said 56? So he said that the company lost about 100 customers, but with this program, we were able to bring back about 56, win back 56, which is a huge impact. Which is a huge impact you've done because of your program. People were able to win back about 56% of the customers. Then I'll give you some examples also, because I just noted down some. Yeah. So, and also you'll have to make sure that you list things in orders of importance and relevance. Okay. So why do I say that? For example, if it is a sales department, for bullet points about sales department, now consistently achieved 175% of sales target and earned an award for being the second sales representative company wide in year 2022. Now, what has he done is he has first done an annual summation of his achievement, where in the annually he was rewarded for the number two sales representative. Second he's done is exceeded monthly sales, तो उसने month का भी include कर दिया कि मुझे monthly achievers award मिला है March 23 में. So in 2022 he's attained a yearly award, and in 23 March he got a monthly thing, which was the second important thing. And the third important thing is that, which was not even his job, which is collaborated with the marketing team to develop, implement and evaluate advertising campaigns that improve search engine results and increase website traffic by 27%. Now he said that it was not even my job, but I initiated something like this to collaborate with the marketing team so that I can contribute to the organization more. Am I clear? Okay, since I'm not able to see the responses on the chat, I am assuming it is okay. Okay. Then the last one is add your, not the last one, but the last, the important ones, add your educational experience. Now, guys, start off with your, I'll come to this. Yeah. So start off with your highest educational experience first, and coming back to targeted. Yeah. So here, if you see here, it's written the education, right? Start off with the highest education first. You may want to write the school, your name of the institution. You want to write the location of the institution. You would want to write your title of the, course, and you may want to write the year. Now, if you're a current student, you may want to write the anticipated graduation date. वो जरूर लिखना है. That's very important, because then people know that when are your exams and when can I, actually expect a person to be absolutely free. Now, the second one is that you may also consider adding your GPA. But if you decide to add your GPA, make sure that it is something to brag about. Okay. But in case if you have some, some work experience, it's okay to omit it. It's okay to just not so be to be not so explicit. It's fine not to include your GPA. But agar GPA likhoge, to make sure that it's a really good one, right? If you have achieved those kind of marks. Now, another part is the additional skills, where you have to add the additional skills. So in this, you may want to add skills section after the educational qualification. Now here you want to pick up those 4 or 5 that we spoke about earlier from the JD. Okay? This will again get your resume better chances of selection, right? Also, in case you feel that your extracurricular activities will fetch you some more mileage, please go ahead and add that as well. But but make sure that they are relevant, okay? Because sometimes it is very it's a just a waste to even read it, and it's just eating up the space from your resume. So I would want it, you guys to give it a thorough thought that it is a very relevant thing that you're writing. Now, try to match your wordings. Again, I'm reiterating, guys. Try to match your wordings with the JDs throughout the resume. For example, if a JD says that specific language proficiency, for example, Spanish language proficiency, but आपका resume कहता है Spanish language fluency. It is smart to change it to Spanish language proficiency and not leave it like fluency. Like I said earlier, if it is an enthusiastic communicator, make sure you're writing enthusiastic communicator and not good communication skills. So make sure that these small things are taken care of, so that we don't have to worry later, right? Now, choosing to highlight a diverse skill, will sets may communicate that you're a well-rounded candidate. Okay. And these phrases are definitely, guys, please don't mistake this for saying that these are skills. For example, hard worker, and people's person, motivated, team player. ये सब skills नहीं हैं. These phrases are not skills. Instead of claiming those, you might want to demonstrate in your resume. Now, what I mean by that is, don't say, let it appear, let it speak for itself. And also, there is another section that people like to, add hobbies. Nothing wrong in it. See, guys, hobbies is important. If you think that, they really fetch you some type of mileage. But कभी कभी लोग क्या लिखते हैं ना, I love to listen to Hindi songs. Very good. That's a great personality point. But you can also explore, कुछ गलत तो नहीं है, लेकिन you can also explore something which is relevant to your job. You may want to write that I like to take care of pets and elderly people. Actually, this shows your compassion. If you're getting into an industry which is your hospitality or your medical health line, healthcare line. Or you might want to include, if you're into a creative thing where you may want to write, have an aura for painting or something like that, which really fetches you mileage. And so that's all from arranging the sections of on resume. Now, after you are done arranging the sections, let's see what is really important. Abhi itna acha resume bana liya, we've made the best resume in the world, and it looks really beautiful. But if it looks beautiful, it should sound beautiful as well. So there are certain steps that you need to take care of, which is hygiene. Now, when I say hygiene, I have seen the resumes for, I think, at the most, elevated levels also, like assistant vice president and vice presidents also, where there is a spelling mistake. So this is something, this can put your recruiter off in a jiffy, right? So to make a good impression on employers, show them that you are attentive to details. Okay, you might want to review the resume for any errors, omissions, punctuations, grammatical errors, spelling mistakes. All of this is very important to look at. You may want to review it at least twice before sending it out. And you may also tell your family or your friend to go through it once. Now, another proofreading strategy is to walk away from the resume for few hours or overnight, and then come back for proofreading, right? Now, about limiting you have to limit your resume to 1 or 2 pages, and that's very important, guys, because the recruiters just have some seconds to skim through these, resumes, and tons of resumes they receive. So you might want to be, concise in writing your skills so that it is a crisp resume. Now, also about using a professional font. So use a legible font, and which is a professional font today is a Times New Roman or Arial, and you don't want to go beyond font size 10 to 12. Okay, if you go beyond that, it is not too big or not too small, would not fetch you good amount of traction. Then you might want to look at the like I said, bullet points. Use the same bullet throughout the resume. Don't just have some fancy ones. Margins and line spacings have to be taken care of. Make sure that you are taking care of each and every lines and each and every margin. And also, your section has headings should pop out with, you can take the help of underline or the bold, but it has to be consistent throughout the resume. Then, last but not the least, you have to save and submit as PDF. Now, this saving and submitting as PDF, unless you are instructed to not to send it through PDF, it's a good idea to send it through PDF because it preserves your formatting, right? So this will not, make your formatting go haywire. So that is about about hygiene that you have to look at. Now about one bonus, which is cover letter format also. So again, a well-written cover letter has the potential to impress the employers and set you apart from the other candidates. So here, unlike your resume, you can go a little explicit. You can explain yourself about your skills. You can, it's giving them more details about your professional career and explain that why you are a good fit for the role in the company. So the cover letter would first start with the subject, and the subject needs to have your name. Why I'm saying name is, guys, because they do a search, and if they are searching, it will be easily searched with your name. Then you have to write your role that you're applying for, and you'll have to write your ID. If there was some where there was a job posting, if there was some job posting ID, you might want to write that as a subject, because they will be able to sieve it through easily. Then salutation and greetings, which is basically the salutations are the common, the common greetings, that business greetings that we do, which is dear and the first name. So in case you don't know the first name, then dear hiring manager. Okay. And then the opening paragraph. So opening paragraph has to have, in the first paragraph, you have to mention the like I've written here, I'm excited to apply for position, which is you have to write the name of the company as per the posting, which portal did you find it, and I understand you are currently adding several new product lines, and I believe my skills in those product lines. So you have to write the name of the product lines, provide a significant advantage for creating a successful launch, which really means that you should mention the job title you're applying for and where you saw the position posting. Explain your interest in the role and company to let the recruiter know that you've done the research, right? So for the middle paragraph, which is like when you've already told about yourself, now your second paragraph should be a brief overview of your background. आपको अपना background बताना है because it relates to the position. Include your key achievements, skills, and skills which is particularly suited to this job. And now focus on one or two, provide specific details about your success, including measurable impacts that you've made. Now you have to tell your background, so you have to also tell that what is the impact that you have made. So for example, as you have to tell what were you at that company, your old company or your current company. I was responsible, or I am responsible for improving the efficiency for, you have to write the product name or you have to write the solution's name. Before that, I worked in, what all companies have you worked? I developed the name of the tool that you developed, or the platform that you've developed, which led to 30% increase in overall sales. So this is also the impact to you are showing that you've contributed to the organization. Now, the closing paragraph. Now, what will the closing paragraph have? The closing paragraph will actually have the should focus on well drafted summary. Now you will say that I may want to copy that same summary which is written on my resume. No, please don't do that. You may want to summarize a specific story or an anecdote which displays your role for this right now, your fitment for this role right now. So you may want to rework it. You may want to write something different which is not in your resume already. For example, achieving ambitious market goals, I'm sorry, is always a top priority. I'm always looking out for the company's best interests. I enjoy delivering marketing presentations to potential clients and focusing on an organization's strengths. So this is actually telling that what do you want your skills to be showcased as. So this was about the closing paragraph. Now you have to end it with a professional sign off. So you should end your cover letter with a paragraph letting them know your hunger for the role, your want for the role, and how your earlier experience would benefit the company also. So, like example, obviously you will end it with your signature at the bottom. Thank you for your time and consideration. I look forward to learning more about sales position and the company. My proven track record and company's name, you have to specify the company's name, quality products, which company you're applying for, are winning combination for increasing the company's market share. This is an example that I'm giving you, but you may want to write what you have to. So that brings us to the end of the session. So now I open the house for questions. Hi, can we have some questions? Hello, am I audible? So, guys, GPA is the grade point average, which is your scores, which you may want to include. That is GPA. So diverse skills are technical or soft skills. So whatever you want to use, you want to write. So if you're writing about different diverse skills, you are known as a well-rounded person, because if you're writing about your soft skills also, which is your you know you're a person who has communication skills, who is proficient in some technical skills, who's proficient in some language, and who has some diploma or degree that you've received. So all of this include a diverse skill, which is a combination of your soft skills and your technical skills. Any other question? Okay, so I think somebody is trying to write something. If we add what? Sure, I can send this presentation out to Divya, and she should be able to help you with this. Grade point average. This is your scores in the examinations. So you might want to include that only if it is good. Your scores in the examinations, guys. That is GPA. When you say we should list things in orders of importance, okay, when I say that I should list in the orders of importance, that is actually the I should write my first important thing. If I've done an achievement, for example, I showed you an example. So to him, the most important thing was his annual reward, so he stated that on the first place. Then for the second thing, he had written about he had written about say about his monthly reward. And then the third thing is that, which was not even his KRA, but he had still helped another department to get him sales. So that is, he's ordered it accordingly. So you have to actually do your skills accordingly. So I don't know if I've answered your question. Amar, have I answered your question? Yeah, so I mean to say your so GPA, CGPA, I'm just talking about your scores, guys. So if your scores are that worthy to be there in the resume, please do that by all means. Yeah, exactly. So, Amarpreet, have I answered your question where you wrote that what would that mean? So, I'm meaning that if it is a role of importance, for example, for me, it is important if I've done something at the global level as a CHRO. I will write that first in my achievement. And second is if I've done something company wide, if I've done in India, if I've done something really well as a CHRO, I will add that. The third will be in my order of experience if I've initiated something which is like a Gallup survey. So I will write that third because that's not so important. I will not put it at the top. Exactly. So you said a lot of recruiters use AI during selection. Yes, they do. But like I said, because even if that is the AI, I'm saying सबसे important thing is that your skills should have the same verbiage like of your resume, like of your job description. Then it is that you have to make sure that your chronological, there are no errors. You have to make sure that your resume looks chronological. It's not only functional because functional is not maybe, it stands out. And then you have to write compelling statements on your summary. Then you have to check it for any omissions, for any spelling mistakes or grammatical errors. These are little things which AI also rejects. Okay, thank you, Amarbeer, if I've answered your question. Okay, and for freshers, certifications or any workshops or short-term courses, do we need to mention them in detail? No, you don't have to mention them in detail. You may want to just write those, again in the order of importance, which is relevant to the job, and then you'll have to, uh, you may want to explain that during your interview. Correct? You may not want to write this in detail because that will eat up your entire resume. But if it is relevant to job, please write which is very, very important, which is even if you want to explain in one line that what does that mean. Okay, somebody said, can we add the achievements since primary school? No. If you are a fresher, you may want to write which is very, very relevant to the job again, Shahina, where you have to write, which is, for example, if you're getting to some, say, a public relations officer, you may want to write about your, if you've done something, some comparing, or you're going for a content writer, you may want to write relevant to that. That today, I have done these, maybe I have edited my newsletter in the school. So you may want to write that, but don't write everything, all the achievements in the, make sure that you're writing very, very important things so that your resume gets picked up. Otherwise, it's just, people don't have so much of time to go through your resume. Okay. Thank you, Noreen. And who else had a question? Any other question that I have not answered, guys? Is there a question I have not answered? Because I would like to take it up. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for this meeting. It was wonderful. Divya, would you like to say something? Because if you want, then we can end this session. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Amarbir. Thank you, Kritika. Thanks, Pankaj. Thank you. All right, then. See you soon, guys, and wish you all the luck. Bye bye.